Greetings. You may have noticed that I enabled Module 2, What is UX in the UX Ecosystem, in Canvas, and I just wanted to go over it briefly so that it helps you get started. Speaking of getting started, when you first access Module 2, please go to the Module 2 Start Here page. And this page gives you a summary pretty much of everything that we'll be doing. Each of the tabs here, the start tab gives you a high-level summary of everything that we'll be doing in the class. Make sure you read Chapter 1, What is UX, and Chapter 2, the UX Ecosystem, in Unger and Chandler. You can start reading them as soon as you get a chance and through the week. It's not like they have to be done before we meet on Monday. View the online lecture part 1, though, if you can, before Monday. It's a short video that just runs a few minutes, and it'll kind of set the context for what we're going to do on Monday. And then after we meet on Monday in Zoom, our Zoom lecture, that's when you should get started on Lab 1, defining UX design terminology. And note, this is a group activity, and you're required to participate in discussions with your group. The groups, I've divided you into groups of 4 to 5, and I'll talk more about that when we meet on Zoom face-to-face. And then start the UX Sleuth exercise auto checkout. I believe we talked about this in the orientation and 2 weeks ago. You have 2 weeks to complete this assignment, and we'll talk about it some more in class. There is one lecture video that I want you to take a look at. Also, you have the lab where you can, there's the UX Sleuth and the additional exercise, but here's the lab, and this is what we'll do briefly during our meeting on Monday in a breakout session, and then you'll continue during the week. And so you can read through it. These links are disabled right now. They'll be enabled once we meet on Monday, but this gives you an overview of what we're going to do and some examples from previous semesters. And then finally, the UX Sleuth Dropbox. You can get to this PDF and the requirements for it. There is a class discussion that you have to participate in. So this week we have 2 discussions in class. We'll have the lecture and an activity where as a group you define your concept of UX. And you participate in this group discussions, and then once the auto checkout is done, then over the 2-week period we'll have reflections there. I've given you a link to some resources. This link here, The Elements of User Experience, is a really good handout that talks about Jesse James Garrett's Elements of User Experience. We'll take a look at that some more. Don Norman's website is provided as a link, as well as the Interaction Design Society, which I think is a good resource, and the User Experience Society. And so that's pretty much a high level. Within the module, if you don't, I try to make these Start Here pages as a one-stop shop. But if you want to access things the old-fashioned way in Canvas, using the Canvas menu, which I really am not a fan of, because you had this, for each module, we end up with a long list menu, and it kind of looks very intimidating. But you can access the Lab 1 instructions as well as auto checkout. The Dropbox for Lab 1 will be available after we meet on Monday. If you have any questions, post your questions to the questions forum. And I'll see you on Monday night at 7 p.m. Thanks.